Hello, everybody. Hello and welcome to the last episode of 2023 of Soul Star Light Up. And, I say that kind of lightly because I haven't done an episode in a long time. Because a lot of things have happened. 2023 has been an interesting year, and some of the themes that have come up. That's why I wanted to do this little wrap up sesh today. And I see I got my Will Evans merch on. It's a little wet because I was outside walking the dogs, but little plug to Will Evans there, who, by the way, anyways, yes, a little plug to Will Evans there. Hello, everyone. Those who may be watching live and those who will be watching in the replay. So I'm excited. I use StreamYard to stream to different social media platforms, and they didn't have the ability to do it to Instagram before, and now they do. So I think I'm streaming on Instagram because I put it in there, but who knows? I'm going to check it right now. But so I'm just going to um, I'm going to check it real quick. I know, I'm sorry, but I'll wait and see. I hate when people get on live and they're like, I'm just going to wait for followers. I'm just going to wait for people to come on. I'm not trying to do that, but I do want to see if it's on there, but I don't know. And I can't see. So since I'm new to all this, I don't know if it's on there, but if you're on Instagram and you can see it, let me know. Put a comment on the live stream. But so yeah, just talking about 2023. It's been a year, hasn't it? And it's funny because I think, people always, when we get to the end of the year, the holidays, this or that, people are like, oh my God, I can't wait until whatever the year is currently, 2023 for this year, to be over. It was such a horrible year. While that may be true, and if I had a different perspective, if I had the perspective on life that I had maybe 10, 15 years ago, I would probably be saying that about 2023 because it did start out challenging and it's ending on a challenging note. But what I see and what I say and the reframe that I have is that I have gone through 2 healing cycles this year. And that's a lot. That's a lot for anybody. But, I started out in a healing cycle, and I'll talk a little bit about what a healing cycle looks like. I've spoken about this before, but I'll talk about it again because we need to remind ourselves that we are cyclical beings, and we are constantly going through cycles. Women more blatantly so, right, with our menstrual cycles because we're constantly going through cycles even after menopause and all of that. But all of us as human beings, our planet cycles, the the solar system cycles. We're in Mercury retrograde right now, which doesn't seem to be like such a bad one. But it's interesting that we're ending the year in a retrograde, especially Mercury. But so we are in constant cycle. We cycle within ourselves. Our planet goes through, or our certain hemispheres go through seasons, or certain areas go through season changes. But we also go through internal season changes, right? Sometimes it could be summer outside, but we are in our winter. We are kind of in this place of hibernation, contemplation, change, transition, whatever. So, honoring those cycles, we need to be able to do that. And I don't know why I was talking about cycles. Here it is, tangent. But but honoring the cycles that we go through is one of the most important things that we need to do. So I wanted to talk about the ebbs and flows of growth. That's how we got on this subject. I can only talk about my journey. I mean, I am a therapist, so I'm HIPAA bound and I can't talk about other people's journeys, but I can talk about my personal journey. And the year started off challenging. I think January was okay. February was all right. March was great. I went to Costa Rica, and then there were some challenging times there because I was taking a new class on a new healing modality. And whenever you say yes to expansion, you're going to be thrown into challenges and into growth spurts and spaces. So yeah, so March, April, May were challenging months, the cycle, right? So just to talk a little bit about the cycle of healing, I was meeting with one of my teachers earlier today, and we were talking about this. in our group. And we go through this phase of processing, right? Sometimes in the spiritual world they call it dark night of the soul. I think that's overused because not everything is a dark night of the soul, even in a processing phase. um, but there's something that happens, then you have to kind of get through it, right? You have to feel through it. Like there's a loss, or a loss of a job, or there is there's a trigger wound. I'll speak from my personal most recent experience. Well, actually, let me speak from the experience that happened in March, right? We're talking about the two cycles that I went through. It was a financial thing, right? So, I mean, I think a lot of us can probably resonate or can relate to worrying about money and financial problems. So there was a period in time in March when I was on vacation that Anthem wasn't paying me. And if any of my therapist friends are watching this, you probably can relate to this because Anthem is not the best insurance company and they kind of suck. So they were, once they merged, they did this big merger. Now they're Carelon, whatever. All their stuff just started getting worse. And while I was on vacation, I didn't get paid, and that had been like a 3-week period when I wasn't getting paid, and all these things just screwed up. So I was feeling very insecure about being in my own business, being am I even capable of doing this? Just a lot of that kind of self doubt that I had to really work through. And then, so that I got through. That would say March, April, May. Those were those months of like, whew, talk about like March, April, May. That's springtime. I was in probably a fall season internally because there was a lot of stuff that I had to work through doing that course that I was doing to learn how to do, chakra cleansing and all that stuff. And I was doing a lot of chakra work down in my root chakra. So there was a lot of that fight or flight and response, and feeling unrooted and ungrounded by those experiences, by worrying about money, or, not feeling supported by the insurance company that pays me, not feeling like it was the right thing to be in business, all these things that we go through when we're processing and growing. Then we get through that, right? We process, we grow, we're like, okay, I can do this. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're starting to integrate all of the things that you learned in this processing phase, kind of see it like a circle, like my teacher says. Processing phase is at the bottom. Then we kind of get to this part, and you're integrating what you've learned from this period of hardship, challenges, and growth, really. So you start to like spread your wings and say, okay, I did this, now let's go, let's integrate. Then you get to a point of expansion. So you integrated, now you're feeling like, okay, I got this, I'm good, I'm in the zone, I'm doing this. Then you're feeling like bliss stage, and you're like, oh, I really have this, and this is great, and everything's going in my favor, and this is awesome. And then bam, you go back down to a processing phase, right? And sometimes the time in between the processing and the bliss phase, or the super integration phase, is a lot longer. It could be years in between. You could be in this bliss phase for years. Things could be going great, your business is great, things are great, like love life is great, all these things are great, and then bam, something hits you and you process, right? So when we resist the processing phase, when we resist that place of, like, we can say darkness, and I'll say darkness in a good way, because like I tell a lot of my clients, seeds need darkness to grow. So seeds go into the ground, there's darkness, light shines upon them, and then they grow, right? So darkness isn't a bad place to be. The processing phase sometimes is that feeling of darkness place, right? That things aren't going well, that things are challenging, things are hard, it hurts emotionally, it hurts physically. And that brings me to the second growth cycle that I experienced this year. So that was March, April, May. So June, July, August, great, good summer, going to live shows, having a great time, having fun with people, just a great summer. And then September hits, and this is why there was no Soul Star Light Up. And also I wasn't connecting with anybody, and there weren't any guests that wanted to come on the show, on the segments. But anyway, I got sick. So I'm right now, I'm working through, thank God for my naturopathic best friend, Dr. Ceylon Cicero, working through some through a tick-borne illness, basically. So it's not Lyme disease, but I'll say Lyme for, all intents and purposes, because that's what the major population knows is Lyme. There's many other tick-borne illnesses that sometimes are nastier than Lyme, and I have a couple of those. So I am working through that. So in September, it was quite physically challenging. So we had the first half of the year where we had this kind of ego challenge, this safety, these feelings of, am I enough? Am I doing this right? Making the right decisions? Then we go, so that's kind of the mental body. Then we go into the physical body, where here I am challenged. I'm not a person who gets sick. I don't get sick very often. If once, maybe every 3 to 4 years, maybe I'll have a little bit of an allergic reaction to something, but I don't get sick. So to be as debilitatingly sick as I was during the acute phase of this tick-borne thing, was tough. It was so hard. It was, I had never felt that way. My body I felt like an 80-year-old person. I couldn't move. I was swollen everywhere. It was just, my feet were swollen. It was just horrible. It was a horrible experience that I would not wish on my worst enemy. And the medical field, I felt, again, here it is, the theme of feeling unsupported. The emergency room, my PCP did not think that I had a tick-borne illness, even though the PA in the emergency room said, you have all the symptoms of a tick-borne illness, but no markers. And that wasn't true, because I sent that exact same blood work to my best friend, who is a naturopath, who is a Lyme expert. And she immediately knew that that's what was happening. So we started treating it right away. Thank God I was only acute for about 3 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks. After treatment, I was only acute for after we started treatment, only acute for about a week. But, there are people, and I've been talking to people, telling them my story, and then there's so many people who have been affected by these fucking little ticks, man. And I had the pleasure of being kissed by the Lone Star tick, which is a little nasty one, nastier than the deer tick, really. I mean, not to compare, but it's just a nasty, nasty little thing. And yeah, so that was very extremely challenging. And, I'm still in treatment. I couldn't get any of the conventional treatment that you would get through prescription, because my doctor, PCP, didn't think I had anything. So they sent me to a rheumatologist. Now, if I would have listened to them and gone to a rheumatologist and gone through that rabbit chase and waited all this time, I would have been going through this for months. I probably still would not be trying to figure it out. And that's the story that I've heard so many people talk about, where they've been acute for a year, 18 months, 2-3 years, trying to figure it out, going to specialists, going to this, going to that. And the only person, or the only person type of doctor who was able to find that this was a tick-borne thing is a naturopath. So my advice to you, if you are having any kind of weird symptoms that doctors may think is some kind of autoimmune disease, and you've been to a rheumatologist and it's not, then go to a naturopath, because we live in Connecticut. It's called Lyme for a reason, because it was first discovered in Lyme, Connecticut, right? So it's pretty bad out there with the climate change and all the warmer winters that we're having right now. There's a lot of stuff out there. So that's my PSA for everyone. It has not been fun. And still, when I get little tiny flare-ups, I have a little bit of PTSD and get paranoid and think that it's going to be a big flare-up. Not being able to get up to get out of your bed to go to the bathroom, or walk like a normal person, or like a normal 46, almost 47-year-old, was very difficult. So that was my physical body, right? So there's that healing cycle. And then, so that was September, October. And then most recently, this past month, I went through an emotional shedding and uncovering of a trigger that had been, or a wound that had been hidden and I've been avoiding for a very long time. That I'm not going to get into, because I'm exhausted about talking about that one, but it was a very deep-rooted emotional wound that I had been pretty much avoiding. I've been avoiding being involved in any type of romantic relationship for a long time. So, the opening of a possibility of something like that really triggered a wound that I just had to deal with. And thank God for my teachers. Thank God for my own healing modalities, for my own healing abilities, that I was able to really get through that wound. Probably would have taken a few months to get over, if I hadn't been doing the work that I've been doing, for such a long time, and didn't have the healing tools that I've developed for myself and for my clients and all that stuff. So that was a very deep rooted wound that I have worked through, actually, you know, throughout with friends and that kind of stuff. But when it hit that romantic aspect of it, I was like, "Woo, this hurts. This is not good. This sucks. I don't want to feel this." And for any of you who are doing your work and whatever, you know how that is. I remember the first time I was in therapy, when I was still in grad school to be a therapist. I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, I was in therapy for about a year, and every time I sat on that couch, I would just start bawling for the first like 6 months, because all of those wounds had to be uncovered and all of the feelings had to be felt and worked through. And the only way out is through. So that all of that. Um, yeah, so ending this year on a great note, because whether it has been a challenging year in all forms of bodies, but it has been one of the most expansive, beautiful years that I've experienced, and I'm just excited for 2024. Excuse me, for 2024 and what's that's bringing. Um, and so I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but for now, I'm going to pull a card for everyone. For all of you who are watching now or will be watching later during the replay, because I know you're going to watch it during the replay, I'm going to pull a card. I'm going to pull a card, and this is from the Rose Oracle by one of my most favorite teachers, Rebecca Campbell. And I don't know why these cards are such a mess right now, but I haven't used this deck in a while. So I'm going to pull a card for the collective. And I had an idea of what I was going to pull this first card for, because I'm going to pull another card at the end too. Okay, so here it is. Yeah, so it's the release. What do we as a collective, or you as an individual, need to release right now? Okay, and then the second card I'm going to pull is going to be, what will you get in 2024 by releasing the thing that we are about to pull to be released? Right, and this is a very gentle oracle deck, so I'm hoping, well, we'll see. We'll just see what it brings. So this is it. It's the Rose. Can you see that? The Rose Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I love all of her oracles. They're beautiful, and they bring powerful, feminine, and gentle energies. So I'm going to pull just from the top of the deck. So the card that was pulled is the Wild Rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness, untamed. So what do we need to release? We need to release our rigidity, shyness, distractions that keep us from doing the things that we need to do. We need to release the things that are keeping us from the wild rose, that are keeping us from being the wild rose, that are keeping us from doing it our way, right? So those people that may be the naysayers, or the people that aren't supporting us in our dreams, allowing yourself to embrace your uniqueness, right? That internal critic, maybe we need to get that one under control. So that is what we need to release right now. So we need to release being tamed. We need to release restricting ourselves. We need to release not being wild, right? So we need to become that wild rose and grow anywhere, and allow ourselves to feel comfortable in any setting, in every place, right? To bring our light to those places, to bring the healing that we want to bring, to break away from the, who am I? I'm not, the person that can help others, and blah, blah, blah. Whatever's stopping you in this moment right now, that's exactly what needs to be released. So I'll show that card again at the end, but I will pick another card to tell us what we will be receiving in 2024 if we allow ourselves to be the wild rose, to not, to release the shyness, to release your restrictions and, the insecurities. I think that's really where we're at. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is, so let me see. Do I have this here? No, I thought I did one, but maybe I didn't. Okay. Well, anyways, my last event for this. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Sorry. Okay. My last event for 2023 is going to be a sound healing circle, and it's going to be a New Year's in setting intention. We're going to set intentions for the new year. We're going to actually pick a word or two for our new year, because I usually pick a word for the new year instead of making resolutions, a word that I can embody, a word that I can become or, be move like that in the world, right? So last year my word was leap. I took a lot of leaps this year with certain things. And this year, the first word that came up for me was partnership. And I was like, that's an interesting word, because that's a word that I've been avoiding for a long time. And not just in the romantic sense, but in a lot of senses. So, right. So partnership. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with that? Okay. So, and then today I got another word. So obviously 2024 is going to be a big year because I got two words. So partnership and authenticity. So authenticity for me means that I'm going to embody my full authentic self, because I think there's, since I started the spiritual journey, there's a few parts of me that I've tamed a little too much. And I think it's time to allow those parts of me to come back out. For all of you who have known me for a long time, you all have known how feisty I've been for my whole life. And I've been a lot more tamed, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think my system needed that. My energetic field needed that, but people around me also. And I'm not saying I'm going to go back to being a straight up bitch like I kind of used to be before. I am going to just allow those beautiful, strong, feminine parts of me to arise again in a very healed way. I think they were oftentimes showing up in a very unhealed way. And that's why they would show up as aggressive or, possessive or whatever the S's were. So my two words for this year are partnership and authenticity, full blown authenticity, y'all. So get ready for that, because it's going to be super authentic. I mean, no filters with love. That's the philosophy for this year as far as authenticity goes. So, so come on December 29th. It's going to be at Light Heart Wellness, and I'm going to put that in the comments, but Light Heart Wellness in Southington at 6:30 p.m. So that's a Friday. And we're going to do sound. We're going to do oracle card pulls. We're going to do an exercise to come up with the word or words for 2024. I think it's a very effective practice. It's much better than setting New Year's resolutions and then not being upset with yourself and letting the internal critic completely obliterate you because you haven't done the 25 things you said you were going to do in 2024. So if we pick a word or a couple of words or even a phrase to embody for the year, and you practice that, like I usually keep my word on my altar here in my house. And just when I light my candle on my altar, I see it, I thank it, I remember it, I try to embody it. So that is going to be December 29th as I type it out at Light Heart Wellness. And we're going to have a fun night. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to this is not going to be a vision board thing, but it's going to be an intention setting that will be quite meaningful for you for this year. So this is a Divine Rebels Sound Healing Circle. Setting intentions for 2024. Setting our embodied intention. Right? So if you want to join, send me a message. You pay me directly, so it'll be $35 for the night, but you will walk away with a beautiful word to embody and to practice. All right. So if you have any questions, you can message me or text me if you have my number. So I'm going to put this in here. That's a lot, but you can read it. Um, so so that's the last event for 2024. But I have some juicy stuff coming up for 2020. I mean, sorry, last event for 2023. But I have some juicy stuff coming up for 2024. So sound healing will continue at Evolution Yoga in Newington. I'll be doing that the last Friday of the month for January and February, and hope and ongoing. So put that on your calendars. The last Friday of the month at Evolution Yoga and Wellness in Newington. And then I will be doing. I'm waiting to hear back from the yoga studio, but I will be doing sound healing circles there once a month. More likely than not, the second or the third Friday of the month at the yoga shop in Avon. So those are two for sure things that will be happening monthly. I will be doing some wonderful workshops and retreats for Copper Beech Institute this year. The first one will be January 27th, and that's going to be a day retreat. And we are going to be working on, it's going to be part of the Joy series. So Copper Beech is doing a new system with their retreats, and they're doing different series. They're offering different series versions of workshops. So the Joy series will be kicked off on January 27th. Well, I don't know if it'll be kicked off, but I'm saying it's kicked off January 27th with a workshop that I will be leading. So sound and joy. We're going to be pairing sound with joy, and we're just going to explore the meaning of joy. What is joy? And we're going to do some journeying to joyful places. So contemplation of joy and what brings us joy and what can destroy joy for us in our life. So that's going to be January 27th, and I think it's from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it'll be kind of a half day workshop, and it's going to be beautiful and amazing. And if you are wanting to contemplate and maybe feel a little bit more joy at the start of this year, look on their website. They should be posting it soon if it's not already up there, but look on their website, January 27th. I'm also going to be doing, and I'm not putting out the dates for that yet because we're still working all that out, but I'm also going to be doing a couples retreat there. And I'm very excited about that. So we're going to be exploring the divine masculine and feminine and talking about those things and how to embody those in your relationship. So for all of you who may or may not know, I am a couples therapist. I've kind of moved away from couples therapy for a little bit, but I have done couples therapy for over, I don't know how many years now, probably 15, 16 years doing couples therapy. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be beautiful and amazing. So yes, it'll be my style with sound and, and journeying and different exercises. We're going to have emotional freedom technique. We're going to be doing role playing. It's going to be amazing. So that's going to be a couples retreat. And I think that's in February. It might be after Valentine's Day. So that's going to be beautiful. And then in May, I'm going to be doing a matrilineal retreat. So it's going to be an ancestral healing retreat focusing on the mother wound. So I am encouraging mothers and daughters to attend together, and multi-generations of mothers and daughters to attend together, because we are going to all heal and start to heal that mother wound that we all have, right? Even if we have a great relationship with our mother, there are things that all of our mothers, right? Our mothers have instilled within us through that have been ingrained in them because of the patriarchy. So it's not about blaming our mothers. It's about healing the false narratives that have been passed down from generations to generations because of the patriarchy. And this is a women's empowerment retreat. This is not like I'm going to hate my mother or my, whatever retreat. This is not what we're going to be doing. We are going to be fully, truly looking into the mother wound. What does it mean? And how can we as daughters, even if there's mothers and daughters, as daughters, all of us in that room, because all of us will be daughters, how do we heal that? I'll be offering that too at Row in Massachusetts in October. And that's going to be offered to all people, because all people have mother wounds and father wounds. So I'll be doing a father wound one as well, but that's not until later. But those are the beginning offerings of 2024. So, um, ending the year with a beautiful sound healing circle to set our intentions, find our word for 2024. It's going to be amazing. And then starting off the year right with talking about joy and doing and pairing sound with the vibrations of joy. So that's on January 27th at Copper Beach. And then couples retreat, going to be amazing, divine masculine and feminine. And then a matrilineal multi-generational mother wound retreat. So look for that on the Copper Beach website, because that'll be coming up soon. So I hope to see you there, see you at any of those events. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email is the number 4, wholehearthealing@gmail.com. Or you can give me a call. You can find my number here on Facebook or anywhere else, I'm sure. Or just message me and I will get back to you. So if you have any questions about any of the events or any of the things that I'm offering. Also, one last thing, I am offering my healing services, buy one, get one half off for the season that ends at the end of this month, that sale. So if you'd like to get a healing session for yourself and for someone else, this is the time to do it. So I offer shamanic Reiki healing. I offer individual sound healing sessions or group sound healing sessions, or also if you want to have a sound healing party for yourself, message me. We can definitely do that. I would love to curate a special event for you and your girls or whoever, a meditative experience, maybe a little mini retreat. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And I also do the crystal dreaming. So crystal dreaming is one of my favorite modalities, one of my loves. And it's interesting because, even though everything seems to overshadow that, like the sound and sometimes the Reiki. But crystal dreaming is a modality that not many people know about because it came out of Australia. And there's only 2 of us in the state of Connecticut who are active practitioners. And now we're teachers as well. I've been a teacher for a couple of years. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, profound healing modality that can really help you release a lot of traumas very quickly. So if you're interested in that and knowing more about that, let me know. But it's a beautiful experience that I think everyone should experience. And I'm hoping to teach more about that in different psychic fairs and that kind of stuff this coming year, because I'm going to be doing more of those. But so yeah, I'm very excited about everything that's coming. I'm excited about this year and what it's taught me and how I've learned and expanded as a person, as a healer or a practitioner of the healing arts, and as a therapist. And I've seen that in my clients as well, because what we reflect out is what we attract and what we get back. So always keeping that in mind, that your energy field is always affecting somebody else's and theirs is affecting yours. So if you need help with learning about that, I'm always here for you. So give me a call, make an appointment. All of the energy healing services that I do can be offered at a distance. So if you're not in Connecticut, if you can't make it in person, that is okay, because, energy flows where the intention goes. So you will receive a profound, beautiful healing, whether you're in my space, in my office, or whether you are, across the world or the nation. So I am here at your service, and let me know if you want to schedule something. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. So I am signing off. That is the wrap up for 2023. If you have any questions about what's coming up, let me know. If you have any questions about Will and his concerts, because he's going on a major concert this year. So if you're not in the state and you're out there and you want to hear some amazing music, let me know, because I got your back. But lo and behold, I bid you, oh, wait, hold on. I bid you all of the peace and the beauty, but I have to pull one more card. I forgot I was going to do that. So I'm going to pull the card that is going to be what we will receive in 2024 once we release the rigidity and the shackles of the patriarchy that's keeping us down and not letting us evolve to be who we truly, or us not allowing ourselves to evolve to be the wild child that we need to be in order to break the systems. So here's the second card. So held. So this is what we're going to receive in 2024. So it says held, sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, community. So I think that's beautiful. So the wild rose, right? The wild rose, in order for us to become the wild rose, we have to release the rigidity, the fear, the I'm not good enough stance, the feeling too tamed, right? You're too tamed, you're too good, too much of a good girl, good boy, whatever, don't want to break the systems, don't want to like just go against the grain because it's too scary. If you do that, if you release those things, if you let that go, then you will feel held and supported by the universe, by your community. You will find the right community. You will find the right supports. And you'll find that unseen help. So I think these two cards are beautiful and perfect. And they're beautiful, perfect messages for the end of the year and the beginning of the year. I love that. It's so beautiful. All right, guys. So thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will be bringing this back. I love doing Soul Star Light Up, even if I take hiatus, in times when whatever. But I'm going to do more of my own things. And if you want to be a guest on here, if you want to talk about your journey, you want to talk about what you're doing to be of service to the world, please contact me. Reach out to me. I would love to feature you. I would love to have you on here. But Soul Star Light Up will be coming back in January because I like doing it and I'm going to keep doing it. So love you guys very much. Again, thank you for watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay, and I will see you soon. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I know Hanukkah just ended, but Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the things. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. Love you all. Be safe.